Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. Once again, welcome to the delayed flight. We have again the Dragon of Drukair, the national carrier of Bhutan, Drukair Royal Bhutan Airlines. But this time we don't have the Cessna 172. We landed here with the 172, but we have the Cessna Caravan, the Cessna Grand Caravan 208B. Now, for instance, if I ask you these two questions, will you be able to answer them? I mean, what is unique about this plane? First of all, it is a very good plane, but it has two unique features. You don't know, I see. Okay, first of all, as we see here, the plane has a cabin. There is no restriction, which means that you can navigate inside the cabin and without any tutorials or whatever. There are plenty of tutorials about saving cameras for MSFS 2020. But anyhow, this is the most easy way to navigate inside the plane and to save your desired camera views. There is no restriction here, for instance. Let's say this one here is a pretty decent one. This one, for instance. And I have already saved my camera views because I managed to go outside of the plane. You will see them later. So one unique feature of this plane is that you have access inside the cabin without any need to modify anything at all. And of course, you can have spectacular saved camera views from inside and outside the plane. This is number one. And what is the second feature? The second one is that the plane has reverse thrust. For instance, if we see here, you see, now I activate the reverse thrust of the plane. And of course this makes the plane much more easier to land. So what is about? This time is about the Autopilot. This clip is about the Autopilot and how to bring a propeller plane to straight and level flight and to follow your flight plan. This is exactly what it is about, and it belongs to this special category of clips. I know what it's about, but I don't know how to say it. I will try my best, okay. So first of all, as always, we have saved some cameras, the very first three cameras, Alt 1, Alt 2 and Alt 3 are for landing and navigation. We can take out the yoke. In general, the views of the plane are slightly inconvenient, are not the best. You must take out the yoke, we did already. And it is good to save this particular camera view in position 3. CTRL plus Alt plus 3 to save this camera, and with Alt 3 you bring this camera. The second thing that I would suggest you to do is to press Alt, actually right Alt, and click here. Click here inside the PFD of the plane. Okay? And since we have a flight plan, you can see the flight plan actually here, isn't it? Or you can bring the VFR map, and actually I prefer the VFR map, where you can also see the flight plan. It is again a short flight. Here it is. But I would also suggest you to bring a second window, pressing right Alt and with the mouse here. So here it is. It is good to keep these two windows. Okay. Of course, whenever we want, we can take this window out, the second window, I mean, the map. Or we can as well with V activate the VFR map, which I use mostly. Now, of course, you know that anytime that you want to minimize these two windows, you just press minus here and here. And we will just use these two ones in order to know the most basics, isn't it? Our height, our heading, and so on. And of course, anytime we can press V and bring the VFR map, which is actually the easiest and best solution. Again, a short flight from Cessna airport where we landed last time with the C-172, and this time we have, as I said, the Cessna Caravan 208, and we go from Cessna to Yida, to Alexandria airport, which is quite a short flight. The reason for this tutorial is that I have noticed many clips about new planes actually, and it seems that you don't know how to use the autopilot. You just take the planes. Have in mind that in general I used to have a look at your channels, especially about my subscribers who have their own channels. So in general I have noticed that you just take a plane and you don't use the autopilot a lot or not at all. You just use your joystick, your yoke, whatever you have. And of course this limits your freedom a lot, because if you have continuously your hands on the throttle and the yoke or the joystick, you cannot use the controls a lot. You cannot use the cameras. Actually, you are quite restrained. So it is important to know how to bring a propeller plane on autopilot mode and to use the most common autopilot features. Now we will change the frequency here in order not to have any disturbance from the ATC, and this is a tricky question. I asked it once again. Which of the two is our active frequency, this one or this one here? Do you know? Well, the truth is it is the second one, and so that means that we will change this frequency here, okay, and we swap the frequencies. And again we change the frequency, and I think that no one will disturb us now. I think that there is no one at 124.855. So first of all you go here under CDI and you bring the GPS, the pink line, this one here, okay? You will have the GPS turned on. Since we will activate the GPS, isn't it? You go here and either you press Alt plus N, this is the keyboard command, or you just press here. Navigation mode is on, okay? However, the autopilot is not yet turned on. This is number one. Number two, you set an altitude. Altitude is here. Either you press Alt plus A. You see, Alt is on. Or you press here with the mouse. Good. So altitude is on. However, our altitude is 0. So then you go here and you press CTRL plus page up. This is the command in order to change our altitude. These are default commands that we have said many times that you must arrange on your settings. So CTRL plus page up, you see, 200. I just want an altitude of 2000, not more. It is a short flight, and we have plenty of time to change our altitude. So I set an altitude of 2000. Here it is, okay? Number 3 is that you will set your vertical speed. The plane is a little bit inconvenient concerning the controls. I mean, the 172 has all the controls here, exactly here, if you see the cursor. But this is a little bit more inconvenient. Anyhow, so now you set your vertical speed, your rate of climb actually, and either you press here or you press Alt plus V, and I will press Alt plus V. Have a look here, please. You see it is activated also, the S. Here is, if you see the cursor, the vertical speed, CTRL plus insert, and we set a rate of climb of, let's say, 500 feet. Okay. So in general, altitude here, vertical speed and navigation mode is on, and also our flight director is on here, and I can as well turn the yaw damper on. Okay. No matter what you think and how you fly, the biggest part of the flight in general is controlled with the autopilot. Only during takeoffs and landings in general you use your joystick or your yoke, or if you are in trouble and you must disengage the autopilot. Otherwise you fly hands-free. This is quite important. So when you will get airborne, we will activate the autopilot. We will not press here. This is the most easy way. You can press here to activate your autopilot, or the command on the keyboard is either letter A or letter Z. You may have a look at your controls. But the truth is that we can as well use a button on the yoke or on the joystick, and this is exactly what we will do. We will activate the autopilot pressing a button on our joystick actually. That means that all this control set, navigation and altitude and vertical speed, are standby, and when we will press autopilot, we will engage all these features. I will bring the VFR map here to make it easier. So you see here our flight plan. And we're good to go. Flaps set. I disengage the parking brakes. Airborne, and immediately I activate the autopilot. Autopilot is engaged. So have a look now. Here we are expecting to follow our route, and we are expecting actually to climb at 2000 feet. All three. Navigation mode is on, as you see. Have a look at the VFR map. I retract my flaps. I'm hands-free. And so according to our settings, we are expecting to stabilize at 2000 feet with a rate of climb of 500 feet per minute. We are just hands-free at the moment. Excellent. I can as well bring the two windows that we have opened. Here they are. We are hands-free and soon we are expecting to reach our first waypoint. We only keep track of our speed. And as we see, we have already reached 2000 feet. We see alt here is activated here. And that means that we fly exactly at 2000 feet and we follow our flight plan with GPS mode. And of course this means that we have the freedom to have a look also at our cameras now. I can minimize these two windows. Here are my saved cameras. I can as well turn off the VFR map. And we are on autopilot with nav mode, vertical speed mode and altitude mode engaged. These are the cameras that I saved for the Cessna Caravan. Just keep track of your speed in general, not to have an overspeed. And here we see Thessaloniki once again on our way to Alexandria Airport, which is a quite short distance. If you're interested how to go outside of Cessna Caravan, please let me know, though there are plenty of tutorials about camera views. This camera is quite interesting. Here we are just in front of our plane. If you have a look. Exactly. So I can have a crystal clear view in front of me without any restrictions. So now I can bring again the two windows that I have saved, the additional windows. And we are going to our destination, which is Alexandria Airport, where we will land. Hands-free, everything is on autopilot. We have an altitude of 2000 feet only, straight and level flight. Altitude is engaged, as we see here. Yeah, and it seems that soon we will reach our next waypoint. Exactly, seems that we are turning now. We see Thessaloniki behind of us. I can also navigate inside the cabin of the plane. And you can use the pan button. There is a pan button either on your joystick or on your yoke or whichever control you have, so that without any worries about controlling your plane you can enjoy the scenery. Thermicos Gulf, for instance, here in front of us. And actually we can see also the beginning of Mount Olympus. I reduce my speed and I will change my altitude, all three, here 2000, and let us go with CTRL plus page down. Have a look here to 1.2, 1200 feet, and with Alt V, and now CTRL plus end, a rate of descent of 500 feet per minute. We are going to land at Alexandria Airport, runway 31. Can I ask permission? Maybe I can. 1, tower, full stop landing 3.
Alexandria Tower, Dragon Tree, 9 miles east, 1,800 feet to land.
Dragon Tree 9er, Alexandria Tower. Altimeter 29.89, wind 150.
Okay, 3-1. We reduce our speed little by little. We already reached our new altitude, which is 1200 feet, 1,200 feet.
Clear to land runway tree 1, Dragon tree 9er.
We control the throttle. We don't have any auto throttle feature with this plane. We only have the reverse thrust. And I disengage the autopilot and we go to land. Here it is. I set my flaps. We approached a little bit high. Throttle on idle. Reverse thrust. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alexandria Airport. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I will not insist too much about this landing. We will have a look definitely. The landing was not bad. We approached slightly high. Our touchdown was about 150 something feet per minute, which is not a bad one. This camera I liked a lot, which, as I said, is right in front of the airplane, so that I can have this wonderful view without any restrictions. If you are interested, please let me know how to save external cameras with your Cessna Caravan. This is another external camera. Hold this one here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that I will not insist any further. This is all for now. I just wanted to show you the autopilot features of the propeller planes, and the example was the 208B Grand Caravan, a wonderful plane, an extremely reliable plane. And just keep in mind that first you activate the features that you want to engage with your autopilot. In this example, it was the nav mode, the altitude mode, and the vertical speed indicator. Don't forget to engage the GPS mode, because this is exactly what we did. We used the GPS feature of the plane. Actually, there are not many nav aids here. There weren't any, only a DME frequency, as far as I remember. One of the most reliable planes in MSFS 2020 is the Cessna Grand Caravan 208B. Maybe it is not the most beautiful plane, but definitely it is extremely reliable, and as I said, there are also these two features, the reverse thrust and access to the cabin, something that other propeller planes don't have, especially the reverse thrust. This makes your landings much more easier. So let us have a look at our taxiing, and I will not insist any further. Very nice camera views with the drone camera. Don't forget to support the channel, comment, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are interested. So ladies and gentlemen, I think this is all for now. Thank you for watching this clip and hope to see you soon to the next one. Till then, you take care and bye for now.